Hey, what's up guys and welcome back to Anime King. And today I'm going to be giving you part 6 of What If Naruto Was Born in the Uzumaki clan. Remember to get this one to 200 likes as usual, share this to all of your friends in your social media platform, and also go ahead and check out the brand new episode of What If Naruto Was the Osusuki King, and enjoy that guys. And also, I post a new episode of What If Naruto pushed himself to his limit, so go ahead and enjoy it as well. And I also post an episode of What If Naruto got his memories sealed away, so go ahead and enjoy it as well. And if you're new and this is the first time hearing my voice, and you enjoy the videos on both Anime King and Anime King 2, go ahead and click that red subscribe button and become a part of the Anime King family. And thank you for all of your help and your support. Remember to comment down below and tell me if you're new, I'll be replying talking back to all of you. So without further ado, what is to begin this new episode? Start the intro. So, the last part we left off, Naruto told Hanzo that he will not be staying, as Akainu and Nagato were pissed, but just because they were in the place right now, they couldn't lash out at him, as Naruto went off without looking back, as he went to look on the Uzumaki children, as he just prayed that all of this work out in the future for them. And with that, Naruto left. At Nagato, as Kushina was visited by Minato, as she told him that she didn't want to see him, so why the hell was he keep bothering her? But he told her to please listen to him, as he told her that he's going out to war. Hearing that, her heart shattered a bit, as little Obi was going as well, as Obito was too young to see the corrupted nature of this place. But she couldn't stop him, from doing that. As Minato gave her a letter, he told her that he will still love her no matter what. After that, he vanished in a flash. She opened the letter to see it was pictures of Naruto. Despite the ban from him going there, he still went and took a lot of pictures of Naruto with a silver-haired girl and a red-haired boy, as her heart flattered. As she realized he's going to war, what if she doesn't? As she ran out of the house. Meanwhile, Naruto saw a little village near the border of the Narine, as it was getting destroyed. Going down there, Naruto captured all the men, as they were weird. They were praising this man called Jashin. The leader of the group was Hidan, as Naruto showed them the true power of darkness that made Hidan realize that Naruto was Jashin. He was Jashin in human flesh. As they all bowed down to him, Naruto placed seals on all of them as a skull-like tattoo came on their arm, as he made them feel tremendous pain through it. Because of his dark power, Naruto could rip their body to shreds, as he went through their minds and saw what they are basically immortal, but he could rip their bodies apart, as they all bow down to him. For now, he will just use them as his pawn until he achieves what he wants and to get rid of them, as he sent all of them out on various missions. He was then going back to the town when Konan, as Nagato and Akainu came there, as Akainu quickly attacked him, as she was pissed for him leaving them behind. But she then hugged him. Looking at her, Naruto missed her despite just being away from her a bit, as his hand was going up to caress her face, but he stopped himself. He was not the right person for her. Nagato seeing this frown, as Konan told him that she had a proposition for him. As they went to the town in one of the rooms, as they started to talk, he's too valuable to just go by himself all alone and get himself killed out there. She wanted him to stay and protect the children, as Naruto told her that he wouldn't be any mercenary for the Hinarine. But she told him no, as Naruto knew what she was about to say. She wanted him to be a guardian for the children. So protecting the children at Hinarine also means protecting the village as well. So yeah guys, that was basically the last point left off. You guys can switch across the place and check it out for yourself. So What do you say we begin this new episode? You want me to be a guardian, said Naruto. As Konan knew that she struck his heart right there, his mocking gaze disappearing, as he truly cared about his people. She couldn't help but smile. Despite being an asshole, there was no one in the world that cared about the Uzumakis more than this boy. His loyalty and his faith in his belief, his skills was just another bonus. We don't need your loyalty, or for you to become one of our ninjas. You are free to go wherever you like and do whatever you want, as long as you don't harm any of the Hidden Rain people. But I'm sure you won't do such a thing, seeing that the Uzumakis are our people now, Konan said softly, as he looked at her surprised that she called the Uzumakis her own people. She was surprised when he relaxed in his chair, releasing all of his guard, as he gave her a smile. What is this feeling, she thought, as she looked at him. What do you want exactly, Naruto asked. He's not an unreasonable person it seems, just a bit stubborn, she thought to herself. Hanzo-sama is forming a special group of ninjas. These man and woman will be playing a vital role in the protection of the Hidden Rain from external strikes from any other villages, even the Grade 5. It's a small ninja group that will be working in small teams. Akeno, Nagato have agreed to play a part of this, as Naruto nodded, approving of his friend's choices. Are you a member as well, Naruto asked. Yes, said Konan. He remained silent for the next few minutes, making her a bit nervous and anxious, as she just played out her cards right in front of him. Now it was up to him. So, you want my services until this war ends? Yes, we will notify you when there's a mission. Until then you're free to do your own task. You will be a member of the Uzumaki clan and not a ranged shinobi. We will also provide you a handsome compensation for your services, along with a house to stay in the Hidden Rain, and cover your expenses while you're in this group, she said. And she said, we can help you how to control your dark power. What? Said Naruto, as she flinched a bit seeing the ferocity return back to his eyes. It seemed like he was cautious about his power, just as the ones around him. Galatea, my teacher, she has a unique set of skills that allow her to manipulate other people's chakra. I also have that talent, that is why you weren't able to hit me so easily with your dark attacks. You didn't miss your target, rather. I made your attacks miss me. I don't believe you, Naruto said. It was simply impossible. While there were many kinds of shinobis with unique Kekkai Genkai, he never came across any ninja or hear anything about that. A ninja that can manipulate other person's chakra. Konan was looking at him with a challenging look on her face, so he charged a small amount of dark power. A small ball of pure darkness made his hand as he threw it towards her. He started to panic when Konan did the move, as the attack was 2 inches away from her face. Then suddenly the dark ball of chakra then turned away from her, passing behind her without even touching her. Before he could relax, she sent the attack right back at him. He brought his hands up to defend himself, but she stopped it, as Naruto consumed back that energy. Proof enough, she asked, with a smirk. As he just stared at her, now he understood how she was able to match him, how she was able to control those thousands of paper attacks, and how she was able to fly with those paper wings. Till this day, only Tsuchikage was a great warrior, had mastered the ability to fly. And here was this girl, at such a young age, completing the same feat. You're talented, Naruto said, as she rolled her eyes at him playfully. Thank you, Captain Obvious, she said cheerfully, as it made him smile a little. Look, I understand that you have your own plans and you're a proud Uzumaki, but we need your help, and we won't stop you from pursuing your dreams, and even help you as far as possible. Hanzo-sama respects you, and if you agree to this proposal, then you can visit your friends and your clan, even stay with them whenever you want, she said. Or you can just sneak in and meet them, Naruto said in a challenging tone. Yes, and get them in trouble for a non-legal citizen roaming around our lands knowingly. I see, said Naruto. So, what shall it be? She asked. The offer was fair. Despite her words, he knew that he would be protecting the Hidden Rain as well, but as long as he can be protecting his friends. And he also need time to set up the Akatsuki. But it will take time, and he had nowhere else to go, and he'd rather die than spend any moment with the cult members. Their foul souls made him want to kill them, but he will use them before ending their miserable life. Plus, he could help Nagato and ward off the rest of the world from the Hidden Rain with their knowledge and sealing. And most of all, he'll be able to spend time with his friends. and he could just sneak out of there whenever he liked. Well, they wouldn't stop him. He could just use there as his secret operation base. And somehow he gained full control over his power, and when this war passed, he could leave the hidden rain in peace. Conan watched. A smile came across her face when he nodded. "What is this group called?" he asked. "The Domino Squad," she said. Time skip. There was a knock. He pulled himself out of bed. As the moment he did, the cold breeze hit him. He hated the hidden rain, the weather. He hated it, the non-stop rain. He had thought about it a lot. The Fire Nation was better than hidden rain because of this damn rain, over and over again. It was harsh, but he felt no loyalty towards these people or nation. He was here to do a job to protect his clans and his friend, and accomplish some few secret missions on the side. After that he was done, because he couldn't live in this weather forever. So, with that, grumpy Naruto opened his room door. It was probably one of the other servants that Hanzo had provided, as Naruto knew what kind of game he was playing, trying to sweet him up and all. But instead of a servant being there, it was Conan, the angel, a ridiculous name to call someone. Conan raised an eyebrow and looked at him. Naruto looked down to realize he was dressed in his boxers alone. Well, he didn't really care. "Like what you see?" Naruto asked. She simply shrugged. "I've seen better," she said. She had to fight hard not to smirk after seeing his eyebrow twitch. It has been 2 days since they brought him here, and ever since Naruto requested to be left alone for a while, a request that Hanzo has agreed to until now. "I have been asked to give you a tour of the capital." "I'll pass," he said. As this girl was rather dangerous, he had seen full proof of that. But the scary thing about it, it was like when he lied, she could see right through them. And the most dangerous thing is, unlike Akainu or Nagato, Conan didn't give a damn. She didn't push and just let himself be. Just as long as he didn't do anything to get in her nation way or her. "Suit yourself. I'll inform Hanzo that they're not feeling well that last 2 days," she said. She wasn't annoyed or angry. She was just stoic. Without another word, she turned and started to walk away. "Where are my friends?" Naruto asked curiously, as she stopped, but she didn't turn back around to face him. "Akainu is helping the older children of your clan find new accommodations. She's also scanning through the list of decent families that have tried to adopt your younger children. Hanzo has decided to give her full authority for her to decide whether the families are suitable for these tasks or not. I don't trust your people. Not yet. Not even the civilians," Naruto said. "Understandable, but the young children need a stable home and family to grow. It is either that or the orphanage, and trust me, you don't want that option," said Conan bluntly, as Naruto heard the bitterness in her voice. As she looked at him, he could see it. "You were an orphan, weren't you?" As his voice didn't carry any bitterness, or pity, or kindness, being in a similar situation like her, as he knew he hated when people pity him for being an orphan. "Yes," said Conan flatly. "You rise pretty high. It must have been quite a journey," Naruto said, as a small smile came on her lips. It made her look quite beautiful. "I could say the same about you," she said, as a thought ran through his head. "How about some coffee?" he said. "Coffee? So early in the morning?" Conan asked. But Naruto merely shrugged. "Maybe I'll be a little less grumpy after having some coffee in my veins." She snorted. "Fine, but I warn you, it won't come cheap." "Whatever you say. After all, you're buying." As he slammed the door shut, as Conan was stuck in her spot, on his bluntness. The boy had guts, she'd have to give him that, but he was a complete asshole at the same time. Even so, she couldn't help it, as she chuckled a bit. Time skip. Naruto walked around the capital, as his eyes were taking in everything around him. Right from the perfect drainings that were on every sidewalk. If they weren't there, the people would have been flooded out by now. The gigantic towers. This place is the tallest buildings in the world. Proof of the hidden rain rising industrialization and technology. If he could just place the hidden rain at the top, within a few years, his clansman can change this nation. He would need to recreate Uzo from scratch, since he would help his clan take over the hidden rain. The problem was Hanzo, the samurais, and Galatea, and Conan. But if he could somehow show the people in Nagato to be the next leader of the hidden rain, it would be perfect. Only thing that Nagato needed was a right push, one which he would gladly give. Naruto didn't shiver as rainwater washed over him as he looked to the side to see Konan smirking. She was completely dry, courtesy of her chakra manipulation, which she has been used to keep the both of them from getting wet in the unending rain. That was until he drifted off in his own world, ignoring her for some time now. A point she made clear by making him soak in the rainfall. Earth calling, said Konan. You, said Naruto. Since I'm the one buying coffee and giving the tour, I expect to be listened to, she said in an authoritative tone. Is that so, said Naruto. As he flicked his finger, as he flashed away, all the water in the street came rushing towards Konan. By the time it went back down, she was drenched head to toe. The bystanders had a lot of emotion on their faces, from anger to seeing their angel drenched like that, to amusement to annoyed. As Naruto couldn't help but chuckle out loud as he saw the look on her face. She wanted to be angry, but it was strange. Looking at him laugh, she chuckled. Then she started to laugh as well. As everyone around them relaxed, some of them even smiled seeing their angel so happy. As Naruto created a dark umbrella out of the darkness, as he placed it over her head. Sorry for getting you wet, he whispered, as her cheeks flushed a bit at his word. Shameless, she said. I try my best, Naruto said. No, I think we should move. We have given enough show to the people. Oh, you scared? Asked Konan. Oh, I didn't know that you were one of those people who like to draw attention, Naruto said. Naruto tensed a bit when she stepped closer, as she looked straight at him right in the eyes. I am a lot of things, Uzumaki Naruto, she said. Naruto was frozen in the spot for a while, as he stared at her golden eyes. He blinked and realized she started to walk off. Seeing her turn and smile back at him made him feel something weird in his chest. As he turned to see some of the women around him glance at him with an adorable look, while some of the men were glaring at him. He shook his head as he wondered, is this place driving him crazy? The both of them made their way to a coffee shop. Naruto was surprised they had a thing called a dryer that could dry them in seconds. Well, that wasn't needed for ninjas, but for civilians, it was a blessing. As Naruto realized that the hidden rain had the technology and the manpower to bring along some new resolution. But that would come later. For now, he had to have some coffee in him. As he drank from the mug, he realized one more thing that he liked about the hidden rain, apart from the industry and the technology. Like it? Said Konan. It'll do, Naruto said, even though he loved his coffee, as she just looked at him and drank her own hot tea. So, when are we starting this new group you talked about, Naruto said, as he knew it wouldn't be long before he received information from Kisame or his new group. He had to deal with two factions, and that require micromanaging and proper organization and planning. By the end of this week, said Konan, it takes time to scan through results and the proper establishment of the group. Fair enough, hopefully ninja will have prior training and mission experiences. Otherwise, our mission would be even more difficult if we're forced to carry young rookies. I understand your point, but the hidden rain only has a few limited military force, and the few that are powerful has been assigned various tasks. We will try to get the best, but you will just have to work with who's available, said Konan, as Naruto sighed, but he gave her a nod. What kind of training have you gone through so far? Since you're working with us, we need to know your skills and your past experience, said Konan, as she watched as he studied her gaze to see any treachery or anything. It only lasted for a few seconds though, as he looked at her fully. Espionage, assassinations, infiltration, tracking, interrogation, he said, without any emotion in his voice. You seem too young for these tasks, but after seeing what you did in our first battle, making sure your people survive in enemy territory for a month, I believe you. Possibly to go into a special force program that Uzu was created, you were trained from an early age. Am I right? She asked. Yes, I was planned to be recruited in special forces once my training was over. The rest you know, he said. As Konan nodded, your friends told me that you never take prisoner in your mission. Is that true? She asked. Unless I'm ordered to, or if the target has value, I don't. There is no point in risking your manpower or your resources to keep someone alive, With the next chance they get, they will slash your throat. I'll take your word for it. Hopefully, you will be able to take prisoners for the Hinarine, or if the mission demands for it, she said. I may not be loyal to this nation, but I respect a contract. And I will not do anything that harm my friends or my clan, I assure you. You must have considered that before you offer me this deal. A long silence went on between them as the both of them sipped their coffee and tea. Until Naruto's eyes met hers. Tell me about yourself, he said. Nothing special. I was an orphan. My parents were ninjas who died in the previous war. No siblings or family. Spent most of my time in the orphanage until Hanzo noticed me and recruited me into his services, said Konan. He must have seen something special inside of you for him to do such a thing. He seemed like the man who will just go for the best. I can see why Hanzo-sama took an interest in you. Uzumaki Naruto, you remind him of his younger self in the days. Smart, powerful, loyal, and a ninja with a vision for change. This may not be your nation, we may not be your people, but know this, Salamander Hanzo sees something special in you. Don't let it go to waste, Konan said. I'll keep that in mind, Naruto said. Even so, you seem more than loyal to Hanzo. You care about him like family. A smile came on her lips as she thought about the man who changed her life for the better. Yes, she said. Naruto then snapped his head towards the entrance of the shop as Konan looked at him. It seems that the hidden rain started to get infested by rats, Naruto said, with a dangerous look in his eyes. Konan's eyes widened as she realized it was a term used for enemy spy. She tried to move to get a better look on the target, but Naruto gripped her hand. You will spook her. Let her gather the information that she seeks from that over-talkative waitress. I believe that this woman is not alone. How do you know that she's a spy? Konan asked. I can feel her fear, her anxiety, and that gives me the power to catch a glimpse of her mind. I can fully infiltrate her mind, but that would simply alert her comrades who are nearby. So I'm just brushing the edge of her mind with my dark powers, it seems. The hidden stone is almost ready for a new offensive, Naruto said. You're not bluffing about this, are you? Asked Konan. But she saw that look in his eyes as he sent shiver down her spine. That look only meant one thing, pain. From the corner of his eyes, Naruto saw the short, dark-haired woman got out of the shop. He looked towards Konan. You know what to do. It was all he said before bursting into pure black smoke that seeped through the window behind them. Konan quickly disappeared in a swirl of paper petals. Moments later, Konan learned one thing. Uzumaki Naruto was a predator. It had taken her several minutes to follow this potential spy, but she almost lost sight of them a couple times, but she managed to gain the search back in a couple of minutes. It seems like that cost her a lot of time. By the time she reached him, everything was over. Naruto stood in the corner. It was a dark alley with a worn out house. It was a poor side of the district. It was where spies and murderers could quickly disappear into. But this wasn't the time for them to do that, seeing that Naruto was there. A small wave of dark chakra was radiating off him, protecting him from the rain. In front of him lay three humans who were shivering. A woman that Konan recognized was the spy he was talking about, a middle-aged man, and a young boy who was of their age. I must admit, it was quite smart to send an entire team of spies to pretend to be another poor family. The stone is not as dumb as I thought, he said, his words icy cold. Please, we are just poor people. We don't have anything, the woman pleaded, tears falling from her eyes. Konan felt bad for her. Maybe they made a mistake, and how she could take Naruto's word like that when he had no proof at all, him and his crazy theories. And these were her countrymen. She owed them more loyalty than whatever existed between her and Naruto. They were acquaintances at best, and maybe friends someday, a newly teammate. Dark mass of chakra surrounded the middle-aged man and started to lift him high in the air. The woman started to scream as the young boy tried to attack Naruto. Naruto simply slammed the side of his foot on the boy's shoulder, dropping him down to the ground, and placed his foot on the boy's head, ready to be crushed at any moment. I can get the truth out of you easily, but that won't serve the purpose. Admit to your crime and serve the Hinarine justice, or deal with me, Naruto said. That's enough, Naruto, Konan barked. She had just taken 2 steps towards him when his deadly glare made her stop. Please, we're innocent. We don't know anything, the woman begged, as she bowed in front of Naruto, begging. But his cold, emotionless gaze still glared down on all of them. His eyes met with the middle-aged man who was desperately trying to breathe. The young boy beneath his feet had stopped resisting and was just staring at the scene with a worried look on his face. Sometimes you must hurt others to know the truth. Fall in order to grow. Lose in order to gain. And to learn the greatest teaching through pain, Naruto said. Konan watched in shock as he crushed the young boy's head under his feet. As the brains splattered everywhere, matter, blood. The dark tentacles ripped through the middle-aged man as a shower of blood rained down on the poor woman. Never in her life had Konan seen something so horrific and barbaric. The woman gave out a blood-curdling scream, watching the both of them die so brutally. Yet, Naruto didn't flinch or hesitated, neither was he moved by the atrocity that he just committed. Whatever doubts Konan had, they were all vanished in an instant as the woman started to spit out the truth, as she admitted that she, the young boy and the old man, were spies from the Hidden Stone. They were sent in to get battle plans about the forces that Hidden Rain has deployed towards the Hidden Stone borders, in possible hopes of creating an invasion and destroy the Hidden Rain forever. By the time she finished telling the truth, she was shaking to her bones as she was looking at those terrified eyes that were looking back at her. Naruto was about to kill her. Wait, she may still be more useful to provide more better information, said Konan. Is that an order, Naruto asked? Konan nodded. As Konan knew that Hanzo-sama could get more information out of this whimpering woman, Konan saw him give a snarl as he was forced to accept her decision. This was her nation, and he didn't have that authority. It's your lucky day, woman, Naruto said, as he then burst into smoke. As soon as he was gone, the female spy fell unconscious. As Konan just watched the spot that he vanished from, she couldn't deny it, he was a deadly ninja. He was sharp, attentive, and had useful powers that allowed him to adapt to anything. She was yet to see his assassination skills, but he have already shown some impressive skills by identifying a spy, tracking them, as she now understood fully why Hanzo was so interested in this boy. 4. Naruto Uzumaki was a deadly, killing machine that was about to be unleashed in a new war. Time skip. Naruto was standing in front of a memorial stone that the kids and Akainu had created to mourn their village and everything that went on. When she first showed him the stone, Naruto simply shrugged it off, but unknown to them that he came here every night. I'm sorry. I couldn't be the guardian that you want me to be. But I'll make sure I'll be something else. I'll be the avatar of vengeance. I'll rain down death and destruction on every nation that destroyed their own. I will change the shinobi world, no matter the cost, so there won't be any more sacrifices like the ones you guys had to pay. As he replaced the old flowers with the new ones that he brought today, as he placed at the feet of the memorial stone, with a deep bow, he walked out of the cemetery. All the while, a pair of eyes were watching him rather intently. Time skip. It has been 2 weeks. After 2 weeks of going through candidates, they have finally come up with some. First, Domino Squad. What a ridiculous name. In the ninja world, enemy fear the shinobi as much as they fear the name. But with such a childish one like Domino, all prospects of fear was lost. Still, it was his job to tell the people how to name their squads. He was certainly not paid for that kind of thing. What was important though, that he was told to report to Hanzo's office in full military gear, ready for battle. Naruto had purchased one of the finer armors used by mercenary. His face covered by his black face mask, along with a traditional colored envu face mask that sported the face of a demon, with his gear that was light bluish to dull greenish in color, as he looked like a well-camouflaged soldier in the Hidden Rain harsh weather. He smirked when he saw the guard stationed outside Hanzo's chamber flinch when he was walking up to them. Since he has only visited this place once and only spoke to Konan, they could not identify him. So when they were about to stop him, he simply used their fear, as they were frozen in their position, as he simply opened the door and walked inside. When he entered the chamber, he allowed the frozen guards to fall unconscious right in front of Hanzo and his trusted advisors. Their reactions made his actions worth the trouble. Galatea and Mifune, they were outraged. Conan twitched. And so did this stupid armchair boy beside her. And there was also a fatso beside her looking like a boiled potato. And there was also a silky hair boy that just eyed him, weirdly. And of course his two veterans were there as well, who wanted to be anywhere else, seeing him riling up his new allies. But they should understand his fear was what kept everything in check, seeing that he could simply step into Hanzo's office and neither of guards could stop him. That should make them know something. If not anything else, the Hinarine has to push their training regimes and skip out these baby trainings that they had. Strangely, Hanzo only smiled, as Naruto came forward and offered a nod to the man and stepped beside his friends. As Nagato and Akaino simply shrugged, used to their friend antics by now. The people in the room were still staring at him, not only just to what he just did, but what he was wearing. He looked quite dangerous. On Hanzo's nod, Mifune stepped forward. The 7 of you have been chosen to be a part of this special group of warriors to answer our nation call in the time of needs. You will go by the name of Domino Squad. Assign any mission that will help protect the Hinarine from all threats. Not all of you know each other, and neither do we ask you to be friends if you don't want to. But Hanzo-sama has placed great hopes in you, and failure will not be accepted, declared Mifune seriously. As it was Galatea to carry on, a few days ago we discovered a spy ring of stone shinobis that were trying to gather information about our deployments across the border we share with them to launch an invasion. Further information has revealed that Tishikage doesn't see us as much of a threat. He has sent a small company of stone shinobis to start attacking our village border, which will be followed by a larger invasion force that will strike at our capital, said Galatea in a grave, worried voice. There were alarm looks flashing through the Domino Squad, as their nation could not survive the attack from any of the Great Five, the Stone, Kiri, the Sand, Konoha, or Kumo. With one of them already turning war towards them, it will be just like the past, with the people trying to gain the resources from the Hinarine or try to use their battlefield, their home as a battlefield, just because they don't want their nation to be destroyed. But we will stop them all, said Hanzo. Naruto had to give the old man credit. His confidence restored the faith in all of his nervous troops, as they actually bowed and nodded and promised victory, even his friends, but Naruto stood there as he didn't bow or nodded. Even when Mifune and Galatea shot him disapproving glares, he just stood there unfazed and unmoving. Uzumaki Naruto, I want to send the Hidden Stone a bold message. I don't want Domino to stop them. I just want to make an example, said Hanzo, as the other ninjas turned towards Naruto, as a smirk came on Naruto's face. Can these guys do what is needed for this mission? Naruto asks. They will have to, seeing that you're the team leader on this mission, said Hanzo. Naruto raised an eyebrow, as he did not expect that, but he simply nodded. Then I'll make my intentions clear. I am going to butcher this entire stone company in the most brutal and terrifying manner. The Hidden Stone is a village that is deeply religious and fears the gods. If we make them believe that your gods are against this invasion, then they will stop. The Tishikage may not believe in these things, but his soldiers does. This mission will test the limits of your humanity, might even drive you crazy. If you feel you're not fit, a burst of dark chakra came out of Naruto, then step out now. Hanzo raised hand and stopped everyone in the room from blasting at Naruto for his open threat. He's right. If we respond with brute force, the stone will just pump up their efforts to start an invasion. To protect the Hinarine and citizens, you must do whatever Naruto asks of you. This is my order, Hanzo declared. Yes, all ninjas replied, but none of them looked pleased. Everyone, go and prepare. You leave in 4 hours. Galatea and Mifune, you too. Naruto, you stay. As everyone slowly left the room, as Naruto was the only one left with Hanzo. They are not ready, Naruto said, as Hanzo nodded tiredly. They have not seen what you have seen. They don't know the pain of losing their home, but you do. I don't approve of these measures, but I have seen what shinobis are capable of. And my nation doesn't have the strength to match a grade 5. Just how dark are you going to go, Hanzo asks. Enough to break the souls of your soldiers. It will not just be the enemy who dies in this mission, but the souls of your soldiers will die as well. Akaino and Nagato have seen some of the dark side of this world, so they won't be as badly affected. I would suggest you give these people at least a week to cope after this mission. Hanzo nodded sadly. If that is all, said Naruto. As Naruto started to walk away, Naruto, don't walk in the darkness of this world for too long, said Hanzo. When Naruto glanced back, his one eye was red, like blood. You've mistaken, Hanzo. I am the darkness, Naruto said. As Naruto was walking out, something gripped his arm and pulled him into the dark corners. He quickly pulled a kunai as he stopped. Akaino, I could have killed you. It will take more effort than that, she said. What the hell is your problem, Naruto? I get it, you don't like the Rain, but can you at least treat them a little better? Respect is earned, Akaino, and I have no desire of giving them my respect. When I'm here for my own reasons. But I will give you this. If the members of this team manage to complete this mission on my terms, then I'll try to not antagonize them more than necessary, Naruto said, with a smirk. Akaino sighed. It is not what she wanted, but that was the best she was going to get from him. Her mission was for him to make more friends here, and probably change his mind after his contract was done to stay here. As he brought his hands up and placed on her cheeks, snapping her from her thoughts, even through his demon mask, she could see in his eyes, his gentle eyes, that were looking back at her. Besides, I don't need them when I have you. She smiled and hugged him, as he happily returned by wrapping his arms around her. I'm sorry for not visiting you in these past few days, she said. He shook his head. You were helping the younger one find homes and new families. Nagato was also busy with some work. I understand that. Besides, Konan was there, so I wasn't all alone. As he broke the hug as he saw a strange look on her face. It was like he made her eat something disgusting. Akaino, he said curiously. But she smiled at him, but he could see that it was forced. That's nice, she said, but next time, you and I are going to have dinner together. My treat for not visiting you, she said. He smiled. Who am I to refuse? Free food and drink, he said. Come on, I'll help you get your gear, Naruto said. By the time they finished, as they reached the gates, the team was there. As Galtia gave Akaino a nod and gave Naruto a sharp glare, which Naruto returned back with full force. The enemy will enter our border in the next few days. You will be outnumbered, so make every move carefully, said Galtia. As Naruto looked over his team, as Galtia made them all wear mercenary uniforms and armor, and all of them were in demon masks as well. As she then turned towards Naruto, I don't know what you're up to, but these are my soldiers, and if you do any unnecessary harm to them, I will make you pay dearly, she said. As Naruto looked at her with an unfazing glare. So, you're gonna be with the backup team, far away, but close enough if we fail. As she smiled. At least you're that sharp. But use that to get our team out of there. If things go too bad, she said. And with that she started to walk away. As Naruto looked at Konan, Nagato, and Akaino. But the other three, they seemed to be a bit rustled. Alright, you three introduce yourself now, Naruto said, pointing towards the three cover mask boys. Yaiko, said the orange hair boy. Deibutsu, said the fatso, even though the staff on his back, it was kind of impressive. Kiyosuke, said the tiny one, as he had twin tontos on his back. Naruto then commanded the others to introduce himself. He then passed out cards with the teammate ranks and skills. The team looked at him as they were confused. Come on, you can hardly expect me to take your word on everything when this is the first time we work together. The same goes for myself as well. Galtia has given me these cards. Study each other's strengths and weaknesses along the way. If you have questions, ask when we stop for a break, if there is any. Am I clear? He asks. Kiyatsu, aka the midget, looked over the card as he raised his hand. What do you mean dark power? He said as he read the word on the card. The three boys then felt a new presence lurking around their mind, poking their mental barriers a bit. They started to panic as it then broke through as they saw the gaze in their mind of Naruto Uzumaki. When the trance ended, all of them looked over at Naruto, who was standing there calmly. And that is what we call dark powers. Lesson 1, Naruto said. Akainu and Konan face palm as Nagato simply chuckled as the three boys looked kind of embarrassed. Naruto then pulled out a map and signaled for all of them to walk towards him. Soon enough, they surrounded him. The stone forces would be entering through our northern borders. Between these small villages and open lands, there is a valley. I plan to make it their graveyard. Don't expect to receive help from the patrol scouts because all of them will be dead. And we cannot allow the stone force to hit these towns, understood? All of them nodded as they seemed quite determined to protect their countrymen. Time is of the essence here, so Conan and I will scout this valley. We are faster than you guys, so it is necessary that you arrive in time. Yaiko, adopt an arrow formation and lead the rest of the group. Can you do that? Yaiko seemed surprised by this new role, as he wasn't expecting a tiny leader job anything. As he calmed himself though, I'll do it, Captain. As Naruto raised the eyebrow at a new name. Very well, you guys shouldn't be more than a few hours behind us. Everyone nodded. Scatter, Naruto said. Conan burst into papers as he flew off into the dark sky, as Naruto burst into dark smoke. The rest of the team was a little surprised, but Yaiko managed to get all of them under control. As they couldn't fail, they can't fail this, and with that they set off as well. Time skip, the rain was howling outside, as it was thrusting against the abandoned building that they were in. Conan clenched her fists, just another ghost town, because of the previous wars. But this time she will do whatever she can in her power to stop this. No more. No longer will the other villages use the hidden rain as a battlefield. No more, she promised that. She then turned. Despite how powerful he is, she could tell that he had a lot of demons of his own, as he was muttering words in his sleep, thrashing around, clenching his fist tight. She has seen a lot of things to make her know that this boy was broken, as she watched him regularly visit the cemetery where the Uzumaki memorial is created. And seeing him suffering through a hellish nightmare now was enough proof of that. The boy was broken. A damaged weapon that was desperately trying to find something to fight against. It went to show that there was more to him than being a simple attack dog than she first thought he was. He was an interesting target, and she understood that. When Hanzo first gave her the mission to get close to this boy, she could not understand why. Naruto was not her type. At first, she imagined him as nothing more than an acquaintance. But the small coffee that they share and the conversation showed that he had a similar past to her own. Someone who could relate to what she felt about everything. And watching him interact with Akainu numerous of times made her even more curious and made her want to know him even more. Primarily for her own mission's sake, and she also wanted to satisfy her curiosity. Her thoughts were interrupted when he woke up with a loud scream. Fortunately, they were in the abandoned house where he placed a lot of silencing seals hours ago, so no sound escaped. As she walked forward and placed a hand on his shoulder, she then saw that look in his eyes. She saw the horror the boy had seen and committed. The pain and regret he lived with every day. It's over, she said softly. He looked away embarrassed, as he didn't like people seeing him in such a state. Thanks, he said awkwardly, as she helped him up back on his feet. But guys, be in this episode right here. Remember to stay tuned for the rest of the what ifs coming your way, and I hope you enjoy each and every one of them. But for now, I'm out. Peace.